Here at the Masternodes, we are not making any claims as to income you may earn. Before entering any agreement, please use caution and seek the advice of a professional advisor, such as attorney or financial advisor.
Please ensure your own research is done before investing any money into the market. Welcome, everyone, to tuning into today's podcast. My name is Ryan Prendez. This is my business partner, Nestor Sanchez,
What's up, guys?
and we are the Masternodes. First and foremost, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. We understand your lives can be busy and hectic. So, you guys taking the time, watching our videos, listening to our podcast, we really appreciate it. So, we're going to jump right into it. Our first tweet comes from a reliable source, Twitter, at Cointelegraph, recently tweeted Elon Musk is catching flack again, but what's it for this time? Seneca CEO lambasted him, saying, what we have seen with Bitcoin is price manipulation by one of the most very powerful and very influential people. Um, Elon Musk recently tweeted back and commented, this is inaccurate. Tesla only sold 10% of holdings to confirm Bitcoin could be easily liquidated without moving the market. When there's confirmation of reasonable 50% clean usage energy by miners with positive future trends, Tesla will resume allowing Bitcoin transactions. With this news, or I mean, it's not really news, but with this tweet, we've seen Elon Musk kind of set himself up in a way by publicly announcing, they were going to do this or they were going to do that, and then we see it later reflected by, either Tesla or either Elon Musk. So my question to you, Nestor, is what are your thoughts on, Elon Musk actually following or falling through follow or yeah following through with what he's saying, and Tesla reinstating Bitcoin as a payment option?
Yeah, first things first, I think it was pretty interesting though, like how he wanted to like incorporate renewable energy. I think that's a great step. I think it's a great step for not just Bitcoin, but we should be obviously doing this for, tons of other things, cars, airplanes. But yeah, I actually really think it's a great step. And going back to like what the original tweet was all about is how he was just taking power and like how like how you're saying he tweets stuff and that causes the markets to either go up or down based on like for whoever is following him. They seem to think he's some great cryptocurrency guru or like a genius when it comes to that, so they really take his advice to heart, and you see it reflected in the markets a lot with Dogecoin, Bitcoin once they start accepting it. And yeah, I just think I think he has a little bit too much power, but honestly, I don't think he's using it for a bad cause. Like I said, renewable energy is something that we've been needing to get on top of for like a few years now. And I'm kind of glad that he's trying to push it as much as possible.
No, yeah, I feel that, I feel you on that one. But honestly, for me, when it comes to Elon Musk, I really don't understand to this day who really um you know dictated or said, this is going to be the representative for the crypto community. I think just out of nowhere, man started tweeting, um about cryptocurrency specifically. I think at first it was Bitcoin.
Hmm.
And I just don't. I believe memers just kind of came up with this, like, oh yeah, no, this man is kind of the leader
Yeah.
of cryptocurrency, and it's very unfortunate, but we'll see kind of where he goes. And speaking about cryptocurrency, today's topic is actually cryptocurrency.
Yeah, yeah. And before we hop into that, we're just gonna talk about basically why we need it, because what's the point of a new product if you don't need it, right?
Mhm.
So I think one of the biggest things that we see is inflation. That's one of the bigger reasons that I got into cryptocurrency, because you hear about all these stimulus checks, you hear about bills constantly being passed of just giving out money, either welfare or like things that we actually need, obviously. But these things, they're going to be having effect on our buying power, because they're not necessarily you know making these dollars from existing circulation. They're literally making up dollars. So they're literally printing money, and it's not necessarily printed because I don't know how much, but less than like 15% of our currency is actually um physical. So most of it is just, you have $1,000 in your checkings account, and it's just digital currency. When I Zelle, when I transact money through credit cards and all that, it's all digital money. And this money's being printed, and it's having a drastic effect on our buying power. Tacos went from $1 to $1.25 to $2,
What a
and
shame.
we're still getting paid the same amount, right? Minimum wage goes up maybe 50 cents or $1, but how is that supposed to compare, right? And these governments are printing out dollars. They're doing it not just to lower your value, but to decrease the amount of debt we have, right? So if we
Mhm.
have a lot of debt and we're printing more dollars, that means that the value of that debt is actually getting less and less and less. So, now we owe, trillions of dollars to, other countries, other people, the Federal Reserve. And, that's it's a big thing. Like, why do we owe that money? Who do we owe that money to? And like, where's that money going to come from? Most likely it's going to be our taxes, right?
Mhm.
And you also have banks that are using the Federal Reserve, like fractional reserve banking. And that system is actually causing more dollars to become coming out in circulation. So, that's basically why we need cryptocurrency, and because of all that inflation.
But I feel like after discussing why we need cryptocurrency, we got to talk about now, like what is cryptocurrency? A lot of our viewers are tuning in kind of are new to crypto currency. They don't understand really what it is. They don't
Mhm.
understand how it works. So diving into what cryptocurrency is. So cryptocurrency is a decentralized form of banking that utilizes cryptography to create coins backed by a dollar value. So a lot of big words, but don't worry, we're gonna get into it more. So basically, what it does or what it is virtual currency that was created to combat inflation. In 2008, there was as we know, there was a stock market crash. Me personally, I don't remember it. I was only 8 years old, so I wasn't really aware of finances or really anything. I was just
Yeah.
lost in my imagination, I'm sure, at 8 years old.
Uh-huh.
But in 2008, there was the big stock market crash. A lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people lost their, investments. It was a really bad time for a lot of people. And this pseudo anonymous person named Satoshi Nakamoto, uh, saw that a lot of our big banks had too much power, and they kind of were, or they, him, her. Well, we're not really sure who it is, but they were concerned that these big banks uh, aren't really playing fair. They're not getting checked. They're not um, getting audited by really anyone. They're kind of just doing their own thing and getting away with it. As we saw with the no credit check loans that they were giving out. So they decided to create what is known as the Genesis blockchain. A Genesis blockchain is the original blocks that were created to start up a new cryptocurrency. So they created the Genesis blockchain for Bitcoin, and as we know, Bitcoin has grown into what it is today. Um, but that's kind of how it went about creating it. What it is exactly is virtual currency that's used to either pay, for any really any needs. Right now, currently, it's being used in El Salvador as legal tender. Over there, for example, they're able to buy food with it. They're able to go to stores like retail stores and buy whatever they like in shoes. They're also able to deposit it and withdraw it from their bank accounts.
Mhm.
So the goal of cryptocurrency or in order to explain what cryptocurrency is, really you got to just understand the goal of it. And the goal of it is to combat big banks and governments and companies and organizations from obtaining all this information on you and kind of just allowing it to um, be controlled by the many instead of the few.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing so, they're allowing total trust and reliability by setting up these coins and just having it being run in autopilot essentially by the community.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to really jump into cryptocurrency a little bit more, we kind of got to talk about how does it work.
Yeah, so that's a big thing that you were saying, it's used to combat inflation. So there's usually a cap to how many coins can be made. Bitcoin has 21 million. That's it. That's a cap. And they use that to basically say, hey, the government can print an infinite amount of dollars and without really telling anyone. And that's just a way to say, hey, no, you can't just be printing more and more money because that's going to make the value of the money go down. So that's why they put a cap. And the way it works is it uses the combination of cryptography and blockchain technology. So blockchain technology is kind of new. Ryan was going over a bit about what cryptography is, and that's what basically is used to kind of cipher the transactions that are happening. So big banks don't need all of our information. They can just say, "Hey, he's okay for the funds," and that was sent amongst the blockchain. And what a blockchain is simply is just a distributed public list of transactions. So I can see the blockchain, go look at the blockchain. I could see all the transactions that are happening now, all the transactions that's happened in the past. So I can see, hey, this person does have the correct amount of money to pay me for either labor or if I sell them something, a merchandise, whatever. And it's constantly growing and constantly becoming more secure. So, like blockchain suggests, it's a chain of blocks, which and those blocks have those transactions in them. And in order for anything to happen, um, you know, if someone were to try to change something, they would have to go back tons of different blocks in the blockchain in order to change a certain transaction. And that would mean they would have to have enough computing power and electricity to change out all those other previous transactions in order to get to that transaction. So that's why it's very safe, very secure. And it uses cryptography, like we said, to make sure everything is secure, and which means I could basically send from here to Mexico to El Salvador without having to put my money in risk. And it's also very transparent while also trying to attain that anonymous type of feel. So like I said, I can go into that blockchain, see everything that's happening, and it'll be very transparent in that sense, but nobody knows who I am unless I tell them I'm that person, and I send them that, through my public address. So the blockchain is decentralized, which is why you can trust it, and that you can trust that the information is just not tampered with.
Yeah, and to kind of go into what the blockchain being decentralized is. So when it comes to decentralization, to put in simple terms, the decentralization is the transfer of control of an activity to multiple authorities rather than a single one. We could see that with public networks that anyone could join and be a part of. This means the job of security and infrastructure is not maintained by one person or one company. Um, as an example that we like to give people, for instance, Bitcoin has independent people who run the network from anywhere with Wi-Fi, mining rigs, and electricity. These are known as miners, and they do their job to get paid in cryptocurrency. Um, for decentralization, it kind of just is a form that makes it easier for everyone to run the network rather than a single individual um, or a single group or single entity having complete control over it. It's the best way for cryptocurrency users around the world to communicate with each other, not necessarily like physical words or physical text, but it's a consensus mechanism that they're able to run and say, okay, these transactions are valid. Let's move on to the next transactions to ensure that they're valid. And
Mhm.
so instead of having one authority approve the transactions individually, it's now having multiple people say, okay, yes, this is valid. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And then as the next one's being reviewed, past or people are able to look at past transactions, review them, ensure that they're valid, and
Mhm.
always keep this validity and privacy and assurance among the crypto community. So that's why decentralization is very important to the blockchain process, because, like Nestor had said, with remaining anonymous comes trust. And in
Mhm.
order for that trust to be maintained, decentralization needs to occur while maintaining the network, uh, and also building onto it.
Yeah, so there's our overview of cryptocurrency. There's a lot more to come. Obviously, we can only go so much into detail, and we just want to thank you guys for joining us. Some shout outs to our social media. Remember, we have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok. They're all under the Masternodes. We even have a YouTube that we're going to be posting our podcast, and obviously Spotify and Apple Podcasts will be on there, and just give us a subscribe. Thanks for listening, and please leave a review. And we also have our social medias. You can DM us. Mine is investor underscore nesters, and Ryan's is Rye the crypto guy.
Mhm.
And we're always here for you guys. Just shoot us a DM and leave us a review. And today's testimonial, the featured testimonial this week, is from Isaiah Hernandez. And he said, the masternodes makes crypto transparent and easy to understand. He's starting off easy, but I know that they are always available for approach with any questions, and always have a desire to help. Thank you, Isaiah, for that review. And like we said, just leave us a review if you can, if you want. If you got any great information from this, leave us a review.
Cool. Thank you so much, Isaiah, again, for sending that testimonial into us. We really appreciate it. We loved working with you. And for anyone else that's interested or wants to work with us and wants to get their questions answered on about cryptocurrency, please sign up for our email list. Our email list will include any and all weekly updates that we could possibly do, market rundowns. And if you guys want to work with us on an individual basis, please DM us on any of our socials. You can send us an email as well. We do check those daily. And if you guys, just want to get some questions answered, we're always available. So make sure you guys join us next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, what it is, where it came from, and why does it work. It's cool. So thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it, and bless up.
Yeah, have a great day, guys. Try your best to choose kindness, and try your best to make somebody's day. Thanks again for listening.